Subscribe now. EU debates.
The Governing Council unanimously decided to raise the three key ECB rates by 75 basis points. We had different views around the table, a thorough discussion, but the outcome of our discussions was a unanimous decision. So how did we come to that decision? As I have said before, and as I have repeated in that monetary policy statement, since our last July meeting, we are data dependent and operate meeting by meeting. This is the methodology that we adopt. So we were presented by staff with their projection. We had the inflation numbers and the growth outlook, of course. So in the face of these extremely high numbers, the last reading was 9.1 for a monthly reading. But if you look at the last 10 readings, they were the last 10 highest readings in turn. We had a good analysis of the decomposition of the sources of inflation, a good analysis of where the inflation actually lies and what products are particularly affected. And while we conclude, of course, that energy is still the major source of inflation, it's 38.3% compared with a year ago, slightly moving down in these August numbers. But it is still a dominant factor, as is the increase in food. But we also have an inflation that spreads across the whole range of products, in particular in the service sector, where supply factors are less prevalent and where demand plays a role. So we have a range of the product and services that are actually north of 4%. So in the face of an inflation that is extremely high, that is of a magnitude and persistence across sectors of that nature, obviously determined action had to be taken. And this is very much in line with our determination to actually normalize monetary policy as we started back in December. So for those who consistently repeat that the European Central Bank is lagging behind, I contend that we are on a journey that started back in December, where we decided to put an end to the asset purchases under PEP and under APP, to move out of negative interest rates as we did back in July, and now to continue on our normalization path with a front-loading exercise that we conducted today, because we believe that the deviation from target is such that it warrants this front-loading. And we also decided that this was not an isolated decision, but that we would raise interest rates further. We didn't say that we would raise interest rates at 75% as if 75 was the norm. It is not. We will determine, meeting by meeting, on the basis of data, how we reach to that level of interest which will actually return us to the 2% target in the medium term. It is not there at the moment. Our forecast at the end of December, which is not the medium term, but it's the end of our projection exercise, is at 2.3. We are not there. So we have more journey to cover going forward. But we had a very, you were interested in the flavor of the Governing Council. We had a very cordial, effective, deep discussion on all these matters. And that certainly helped us on the basis of the proposals by staff and the recommendation by our chief economist, Philip Lane, to actually go collectively in the direction of this 75 basis points hike.